Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. All of us, if you have an animal, a pet, you love them. You want to be so close to them. Many of us, myself included, consider them almost like people. Sometimes they're nicer than people. But how do you get that bond? How do you form that very close bond with our animals? We're going to learn more about that today, and it goes deeper than that because they have told her what they want. And I'm talking about Ani, who is somebody that can communicate with animals. I've seen it. It's legit. You can find her at Ani, A-N-I, animalintuitive.com. And she's back with us. Ani, how are you?
Good. How are you all?
Good to have you back here. I know you have a holiday special going on, so I just want to mention that before we even start. And that's a 45-minute session for $37 off. So if you're looking for a session or a reading, depending on how you want to phrase it, maybe you know somebody who is that wants to communicate with their pets, get a great deal right now when you go to the website, animalintuitive.com. Click that green banner at the top of the page, and limited space, of course, it's a limited time offer. It's only going on during the holiday, so get on that right now. So forming a bond with our animals, I always want to be as close as I can to my animals, like really just feel like they're there for me. I'm there for them. I want them to know that. You've spoken with animals. You hear it all. What messages have you gotten about bonding with a human, Ani?
Okay, so what's interesting is I realize that if the animal is young, anytime I've ever spoken to them and it's like, oh, okay, you just brought them home and, or you got them from a situation that they had a loving situation and they were still able to stay with their dog mom, cat mom, bird mom, right? Or, horse mom, let's say, right? They have more of usually a loving experience if they were able to form a bond and have enough time with them. And so when they come to you, it's easy for them. They've already had a good experience.
When you say a good experience, you mean what?
I'm sorry. I'm hearing some feedback right now, so I can't.
I see what you're hearing. And there we go. Yep, you got us now, right?
Okay.
Beautiful. Okay. So when you talk about that messages that you get from them, what do you mean?
So, for instance, when I receive messages from an animal, I hear, see, and feel what they're experiencing when I communicate with them, when I connect with their message. And is that what you meant?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So So when that happens and I communicate more with a animal that's a baby, let's say, or young, and they've had a good experience with their actual mom, right? That either birthed them or hatched them. It's easy then for them to bond with their human. Usually, that's because they're like open to it. They've had a good experience. It's like, oh, okay, this is easy. I'm trusting. Let's do this, and they're curious usually. They're very curious. They want to learn things. They want to know things. It's like this innocence that I've picked up from their energy.
So I feel that I've had the most luck in bonding with animals when I get them as babies, as puppies, right, as kittens. It just seems to work. I don't know if that's if you can do it, then it's the most important thing to do. But it seems like it's more challenging to bond with rescue animals because they've been traumatized. Does that make sense or no?
Some of them have, though. And some of them have not. Some of them have not. I have right now one. I have, Valentino, which is my boy, my baby boy. That he's a dog that I just got him 6-7 weeks ago from a rehoming situation. So he had a good experience with these people for his first 2 years in this home. They couldn't keep him because of their personal situation that they were going through financially. Um, but and then with my other dog, that's a miniature poodle, she was rescued from the streets after a hurricane. She was still very loving and open because she already had a really good experience at a foster home for months at a time. So not always do they come to you if they're rescued traumatized. That's definitely a falsehood. Not always. It depends. It's an individual thing.
I can totally see that because the kitten that I'm about to adopt is in a foster home, and even though the animals were, I believe, as kittens, even it was a feral type situation, they're acclimating fantastically. But it depends really on the foster. How about some backstories about animals that have had trauma or situations like that?
Okay, so I did speak to specifically this pit bull named Mia, and Mia, um, it took her, I would say, about 5, 6 months. This lady is so patient. She's a beautiful yoga instructor, this sweet client of mine. And she was very patient, very understanding. She knew what she was going into with Mia, this pit bull. And Mia, once she gained Mia's trust, they really bonded. Now, what happened before? Unfortunately, Mia had a horrible experience. She was beaten and everything before she was adopted.
Mm.
So that's why she was mistrustful. That's what Mia shared with me. They didn't know the backstory, but that's what Mia shared.
See, that's what makes this whole situation different because you get it straight from these animals. What happened to them, what they're experiencing, what they're feeling. How about what we should do to better bond with our animals? Like,
Well, I wanted to first share that what Mia was exhibiting and why the lady did call me was because Mia bonded with her, but she was still excessively barking and aggressive towards anybody else. And the reason is because Mia felt very scared and felt that she had to defend herself because she felt that everybody else was going to hurt her, right? And through angelic soul retrieval sessions, that changed for her. She really was able to reconnect her disconnected parts of her soul. So that really helped her. So it depends. Like I said, my dog was 5 years old when I got her, my poodle mix, and she wasn't aggressive. She was open to having a bond with me. So I did want to share that first. I'm sorry. Go ahead with
no,
your question.
no worries. I'm glad you did because it gives us more insight on that story and also how you do what you do. But just wondering in terms of bonding with our animals, I over the weekend, first time, actually the second time ever, but I finally got around to doing it. Took my dog to a dog park, and I don't know, it just felt good. I felt like I bonded a little bit more with him. But how about some tips on bonding with animals, no matter what kind of animal it is?
Okay, so let's say with a bird, okay, you want to keep your voice very low, soft speech when you're speaking with them, and when you're meeting, especially when you're meeting a new bird for the first time, they prefer the bird prefers it when you're talking to them in a lower voice like this. This is what they've shared with me. Also, another tip is to take it slow, no sudden movements. Offer a treat to them, and that does actually work with dogs, cats, birds, and horses, offering a treat to them and being patient in that way. It's kind of like, I'm not, I'm open here. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm giving you food kind of thing. So that's a good thing too. It's socializing with the bird. And that's not just a bird. Again, socializing and playing, socializing, playing with a bird, with your horse, with the new cat that has come into your life. And be patient. Please be patient. There's some different things obviously for different species that may work. That, for instance, because a cat and a dog, they are predatorial animals compared to and that's one thing that it's good to keep in mind. A horse is a prey animal. So they're going to be just more on high alert. They're going to be more skittish. It's going just in general. You're going to have to set a routine with them, and patience, and routine. Show up, be there as much as much as you can. Hold your ground with the horse. Spend plenty of as much quality time as you can give them. And again, patience. I mean, that's so important with a horse.
I think that's important with any animal.
Any animal, right? any animal, yes, you're right. Any animal in general, you're right. Thank you for correcting me on that.
No, it just, I'm thinking about, how long it's going to take. You feel like you have a bond potentially with your animal, but you want it to be even better. But you got to, I guess, tap the brakes and, what reasonable expectations, even before we get to that. How about dogs and cats?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so with dogs, definitely eye contact.
Okay.
Simple, a massage if they allow it, if they're going to allow it. Now, remember, this is with a baby. This is with, or an animal that's open to it. Get on the floor if you can too, with a dog that is fearful, to start to build a bond. And also with a cat, that would be a really good idea too. Praise them a lot. Stay calm as much as possible with these dogs and these cats. Again, treats will go a long way. Okay. And with cats, this is what I would say is that if they step back a little bit with a cat, if you see that they're really hiding and cowering, this is with a dog too. Step back a little bit, but kind of like be present, but not be on top of them. Don't be like, come on, let's kind of notice where they're at and kind of meet does that make sense? Their level of what they need. Because I've had dogs and cats share with me before that are very fearful or newly rescued and traumatized. They need some space from you, but to know that you're still there and not going anywhere.
I'm glad you said that, because even with any animal, you want to just pour your love into them. But, sometimes they're not ready or at that point, and, you just want to love them up, but it might not be a good thing until you get closer to forming that bond. We have a question based on bonding with our animals. We're going to take a very short break and come right back. We're talking with Ani, Animal Intuitive. You can find her at Ani, animalintuitive.com. Bonding with your animal? Got a question? Instant feedback, Steve@gmail.com.
All across Greater Fort Lauderdale, millions of taste buds are cheering. Because right now you can dine at top restaurants and enjoy amazing 3-course meals starting at just $35.
So good. This is what I'm talking about. Pass the butter.
It's all part of Lauder Deals. Great deals at restaurants, spas, attractions, and of course, hotels.
Look at that beach view. Look at that minibar.
See all the Lauder Deals and plan your beach getaway at visitlauderdale.com/deals.
Hey, who ate all the key lime pie?
Hi, I'm Randy, and this is Dave.
We're the founders of Bombas, the most comfortable socks in the history of feet.
So comfortable, we sold and donated millions of pairs.
To sell and donate a lot of socks, we became obsessed with comfort.
We reinvented the sock from the ground up, adding comfort innovations along the way.
It worked. People tried them, loved them, told their friends about them,
helping us sell and donate millions of pairs.
Try them now at bombas.com/comfy and get 20% off your first order. That's BOMBAS.com/comfy.
You don't become a 117-year-old automaker in this country by refusing to change. The Ford Motor Company does not resist, deny, or ignore change. We pledge to make our most iconic vehicles electric, to use 100% renewable energy across all global manufacturing plants by 2035, to stand for lower greenhouse gas emissions, to stand with Americans and for the planet.
Ani Animal Intuitive, experienced in bridging the communication between you and your animal friend, providing energy therapy for your animals who are ill or traumatized. Go to AniAnimalIntuitive.com. That's ANI Animalintuitive.com.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we're back. We're talking with Ani. She's a animal communicator. And today, it's about bonding with our animals. How can you do that? How can you form that better love bond with them? You can find her at AniAnimalIntuitive.com. Or reach out to us, instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com, like Pam in Chandler, Arizona did. She says, I've bonded better with my dog and found it was helpful that he had a safe space like a dog bed. It gave him security. Figured I'd share that with you. By the way, if you buy a dog bed, be sure to wash it first to get the store smells out. Keep up the great work. All right. Interesting thought, right?
That is a great tip. I'm so glad that she shared that. Absolutely. That would be for a cat or a dog. Cats like those hammocks near the window. But yes, do wash it first. Definitely. That is a great, great tip.
So how long should we expect it to take to bond with our animals?
If the animal is opened, has had a good experience, right, with humans, then it can be just a couple of weeks. Now, if you're adopting an animal that has had a challenging situation, that has been traumatized, it's usually months. And again, be patient and consistent and show them that you're still there, giving them space and being present, and go at their pace, because they will turn around and open up. It will happen. The bonding will happen.
And how do you know you bonded? Like, I wonder, am I as far as bonding will go with my dog? Can it get any better with a cat?
Well, for instance, how do you know you bonded? They want to, if it's a cat or a dog, they'll sit next to you on the couch or they'll sit actually on your lap, right? They'll follow you around. They want to be with you. That you notice now. Again, it is personality. There are cats and dogs that do want their own space. Oh my gosh, they're not with me all the time. Don't think that they're not bonded with you. They are. And a horse too, they might put their head on your shoulder. A bird will actually snuggle at your shoulder, snuggle up on your shoulder, and you know that your animal has bonded to you.
How do you know or do you know, or can you know if you can go any further with that bonding?
Uh, Explain to me a little bit more about what you mean by that.
Okay,
Like,
so let's say you did some work and you feel that you're a little bit closer to your dog or your cat or any animal. How would you know, or would you ever know that you could get even closer with them?
well, I feel that it is about personality, right? And you can try it. You can actually even talk to them because they are listening, and then you notice how they react to things. Try to get more bonded with them by, again, spending time with them really creates more of a bond as much as possible. And that's with any, that's like with children and caregivers, right? Their caregiver is where they're going to form the bond. It's very similar to animals.
It almost sounds as if you should never stop trying. I mean, I don't know why you would stop, but
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Keep trying, be persistent, and keep, you know, if one way doesn't work, if you need to be more gentle about it and step back and give them a little bit of time and space, especially if they've been traumatized, then come at it from a different way. But angelic soul retrieval for an animal that has been traumatized, those sessions really do work.
We have, let me take a look here, literally like 2 minutes left. We mentioned it way back in a podcast, angelic soul retrieval. Why don't we explain that again for everybody?
Okay, so angelic soul retrieval is specifically for animals that have been traumatized. And what it does is they actually let go of little parts of their soul to kind of like be in survival mode. So what happens is during these sessions, I connect to the angels, and then the angels actually show me where, like, I'm working, I'm like, I guess I'm kind of like the servant of the angels, right? And I'm working, it's really the angels that are doing it. I'm just kind of like helping facilitate the situation. Um, to connect those disconnected parts. And I actually kind of see the animal kind of light up in different ways. I go into a meditation. And during that time, I am on the phone or Zoom with the person, with the animal's person. And the animal's person is also helping through that time because I have them touch their animal on certain parts of their body if they let them, or just kind of hover over and we kind of go into a meditation together.
Interesting how you do that. You're in a meditation with the animal along with the person, or no?
A lot, kind of, I guess. Yeah. Well, the person, I just tell them to just stay, breathe with me and relax, and to be just kind of go with it kind of thing. And it does, let me tell you something, because you're doing it with your animal, that also creates a bond. That's the deeper bond there, especially with a traumatized animal.
I want to do that with my pets. I think it's so cool. Wondering, their past, because we always want, I don't have the backstory. A lot of us don't really know the story many times when it comes to our animals. And that's just one more way to do that and use your talents to find out the insight. Like my dog. All I know is he was rejected because he was supposed to be pure white and he had a little bit of tan. That's really all I know. I
Wow.
got nothing. Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely, you know what, Steve, on another show, we'll definitely, you know what, I'll definitely connect with him and ask him that question.
And I know he doesn't have to be present, but I've been starting to take him to work and loving it. And I said to myself, why didn't I do this sooner? The only thing is when the air conditioning or the heat kicks on in my office, he starts shaking. So he has to get used to it. But I guess it's the constant drone of the air duct. But it was, I'm literally like I'm talking now. He was next to me and I'm petting him on Friday. But that's just a part of what you do. So I want to tell everybody your website, animalintuitive.com. Go there. We have a special going on, 45-minute session, $37 off. And that can be a gift for somebody, too, who wants to communicate with their animals. You can go to animalintuitive.com. Green banner right at the top of the page and click that. It's a limited time offer, limited space. So get on that. If you want to bond better with your animals, if you want to find out where they came from, what they're thinking, what's going on, or even if you want to connect with an animal that's in spirit now, that's another thing that you can do. And you're on social media too. You're everywhere with videos, right?
Yes, I'm on social media. I put videos on all the time, the mini videos. So I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Awesome. Ani, it's always great talking with you. And there's nobody that has the insight, the information that you do. We learn so much every time we have you on. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Have a great week, everybody.
You too, Ani.
All right. Bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her.
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.